Crazy Russian Dad here. A couple of people asked me on YouTube or Facebook, tell us how you left Soviet Union. You know, you came here all these years back, you talk about Soviet Russia. Well, tell us how you left. The thing is, like, okay, being brutally honest, okay, yes, Soviet Union was tough regime, and more I'll talk about yes, there was no freedom, yes, there was anti-Semitism. I only look at it from kind of Jewish perspective because that's what we were. But like, was I or my family like some political refugees or refuseniks? No, mainly my family left because we could, okay, in pursuit of better life. Nothing wrong with that, but I also want to set the record straight that this was not exactly a, you know, like we fought the regime and all of that. No, like, for example, my wife's family, I mean, I think they grasped it more. They grasped the kind of the evilness of the regime more, and they spent, I think they applied to leave the country like, I don't know, a decade early, and then my wife's grandfather, a great man, by the way, an amazing scientist, but he was a big scientist, and they refused him to leave the country because they claimed that he had clearance. The man was hydrogeologist, very rare profession actually. Finding water and building models. Anyhow, he was an amazing man. I met him. He passed away, unfortunately, some years back. Anyhow, but they spent 10 years like really being refuseniks. Like, my wife's parents were fired and they had to make do, even though they were both very educated people. They couldn't get jobs, and so that's interesting, that the whole regime, and that's what I only understand that now, is that if you don't screw with the system, okay, this totalitarian regime, if you don't screw with the system will not even, you won't even know that the system is there. I mean, that's why many things I know about Soviet Union, I only know them now in retrospect, looking back or reading books and all of that, right? Because yes, I mean, I guess I knew growing up that not all was great, but it's like, this is home. This is like the fish does not notice, as they say, the water it swims in, right? Like, what's the analogy? Like, imagine a child born in prison, okay? I mean, not a happy analogy, but just mental analogy. Imagine child born in prison. That's all they know. They only know prison. They know prison guards. They know that on Tuesday they give you, I don't know, rice, and on Thursday they give you extra vegetables maybe, and then on Friday and Wednesday they take you out for a walk, and you're like, yeah, that's life. Like, yes, you may lament that they don't give you more vegetables, and you might even say, my God, like, how come we don't walk around longer in this prison yard? But it would not occur to you, to the child, that that's not the way to live. You cannot, we're in freaking prison, okay? We need to get out of prison and live as free people, okay? And maybe some adults who are tall, or maybe adults stand on shoulders of other adults, they look out the window and they see the world at large, okay? But imagine that they either shoot or, I don't know, take those adults away, and then that way nobody will ever know that we're in prison. Anyway, I'm sorry for this long analogy, but I think that's kind of how I see it, in the sense that those who knew that things were not all right, and those who were freedom loving, those who were questioning authorities in Soviet Union, etc., were basically taken to camps, intelligentsia, etc., and then they and their descendants, children and all that, basically learned to keep your mouth shut. That's all I ever heard from my kind of grandparents. Just kind of keep it quiet, walk away, all good, don't rock the boat. Okay, that's how it was. At least that's how it was for me. Again, I am sure you people, many of you will say I'm hating Russia and hating Soviet Union. Well, I'm talking about the regime, okay? The regime was regime was smart in the sense that they knew exactly what was good for them, what was not good for them. Like, I am now amazed. The stories I learned from my mother-in-law, for example. I mean, she taught yoga. Okay, yoga. You would think that yoga, you know, like whatever, turn yourself into a pretzel, those postures. You'd think it's innocuous stuff, right? You'd think that who would care about stuff like this? Illegal in Soviet Union. Why? Why illegal? Because there were ideologues. There were people who understood that, if you start thinking about your body and how you put it into certain positions, and then you'll start thinking meditation, and then you'll start thinking other things. No, that's too close. There's only one religion, communism in Soviet Russia. Okay, and so that's the part I hate, how ignorant I was. Yes, I didn't like the, lines for food, or yes, I understood that it might be sort of better out there, but it never occurred to me to to question anything. I didn't know that there were camps. I didn't know that there was torture. I didn't know really what, KGB was doing. I was ignorant. I was an idiot, okay? Maybe not an idiot in the sense that I was dumb. I mean, not that I'm an Einstein. I'm just trying to say. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that ignorance is very scary, because you can keep your whole people. I mean, imagine this was a couple 100 million people for like 70, 80 years. This is scary. Okay. And by the way, I mean, I now hear that a lot of people long for and miss life under communism. I understand that. You know, it was sort of a combination of a kindergarten and the prison. But again, remember, as I told you, like if you don't try to challenge the system, which the system will not challenge you. You just learn to live by the rules, and you don't even know that the rules are there. So as you can see, I don't know, am I answering why I left Soviet Union? I left in pursuit of better life, and only now do I understand, kind of looking back. And I hope historians are doing that too. I mean, there are books and all of that, like being vigilant. I mean, there are countries like that on the planet now that are totalitarian, okay? And people probably like it because that's all they know. That's all they know. They cannot imagine a different life or a better life for themselves and all of that. So anyhow, there you go. I'm in America now, and I can talk to you like this on this video. Thank you very much for listening. I hope I made some sense today. Good night.